Well, hello there, YouTubers, and how you doing? This is New Way to Do It, and I'm your host, Reese. And before I get started, please subscribe, ring the bell, give me a like, share, and leave a comment. See how much better I'm getting at it? Okay, so today, my first topic today is I want to talk about the Nick Cannon interview he did with, what's his name? Jeremiah Cooper? No, Jewish Rabbi Cooper. That's his last name, Cooper. And I really got a problem with that interview from Nick. And let me explain why. You know, I could see it was a clever way for him to kind of bring a rabbi on there where he can so-called like give his explanation to why he said what he said and to sort of, you know, grovel a little bit. Let's just be honest. And I'm a fan of Nick. I admire him a lot. I think he come a long way. Smart kid, smart man, and I think he's a good person all the way around. At least he appears to be. So I went back and I watched it. Well, before they pulled it, I was able to watch s- s- uh, uh, little snippets of it here and there on YouTube. But the whole interview, I didn't get to see the whole interview, and I wish I could have with him and old boy from Public Enemy. Uh, but my problem is that even though I understand he was trying to justify his knowledge and his history, the rabbi wasn't interested in that. He was only interested in the past, and he kept bringing up. Well, first he attacked Louis Farrakhan, and I wonder why they so adamant about attacking Louis Farrakhan, because what they claim is lies, but that's not what the history books teach you. So I guess they have a different set of history books, and we must have a different set of history books, because if you look in the history books, you know, the Jews had a lot to do with a lot of stuff, or people that have Jewish descent. And that's kind of another thing I'm kind of weird about, strange to me about. How can you be born Jewish? If being Jewish is a religion, how can you be born Jewish? And the Jews consider themselves, it's like they consider themselves a race, the race of Jews. And as far as I know, there was never a race of people called Jews. Okay, a lot of them were called Jews because wasn't they from like Judea, and that's how the name came from the Jews. My history might not be right on that, but if I'm not mistaken, that is sort of something to have to do with it, because the people in them days, back in those biblical times, they were called Hebrews, wasn't they? And I also heard Rabbi say when the Jews were, released from the Exodus, the Jews got out of Egypt. But the Bible says they're Hebrews that got out of that came out of Egypt. So which one is it? Is it the Hebrews or the Jews? We know the Jews speak Hebrew, you know, but the Hebrews spoke, you know, uh, Hebrewic language from thousands of years of that language. Okay, and the other thing about Semitics. Here we go about Semitics again. Now, he only touched on it because he was too busy talking about the past and the Jews and the Holocaust. But I'm gonna get to that part in a minute. But when they talk about Semitic people, they talk about people that originated from Africa, aren't they? If I'm not mistaken, Africa, Asiatic. If I'm not mistaken. So even in the most logical terms, these people are not Semitic. They can't trace their history back to Abraham. They can trace their religion back to Abraham, but they can't trace their history back to Abraham. And you people don't find out that to be a problem. They want to call everybody Semitic, that don't agree with their logic and their made up history. They altered history. Let me put it that way. They altered history. You know, because I told you I used to work around them, and I learned a lot about what they consider to be the truth in history compared to the truth in history. You understand what I'm saying? And since they claim Jesus was a Jew, I never heard that Jesus was a Jew. I thought he was a Hebrew too. Maybe wrong on that one again. But for him to bash Louis Khan, Louis Farrakhan, the way he did, it just shows you their racism. Because this man, like I said, he's never really said anything that wasn't true, or unless what he considered to be true. And Jews say a lot of things they consider to be true, and we don't consider it true. So they have more right than he do to consider his truth more than their truth. See, I told you all religions are full of it. They all are. I don't care what religion you are, because every one of them changes the history to fit their narrative. The Jews do it, the Christians do it, Mormons do it, the Islam, they do it, the Muslims do it. They all change the history to fit their narrative. And then they argue you down to make you understand their point, and then hurt you for it. That man had no sympathy for Nick Cannon, and you could see it in his face. He was basically saying, "Good nigga, that's what's supposed to happen to you." And then he keeps bringing up the 6 million Jews. How many hundreds of millions of blacks have been killed? Ain't nobody got no wall for them. How many so-called Jews was in on some of them Holocausts? Ain't no history of that. So this man want to go back and explain history in the way he was taught, and it made sense to him, and everybody gonna tell him he wrong. And you so wrong. Not only are you wrong, you gonna lose your job over it. And then you got these turncoat black people, because mostly what's in charge of them is mostly Jews. And it was like, I go see my Jewish brothers, and we talk it out and talk of this. Yeah, right. You're just kissing. Everybody know that. You're just kissing. But everybody got to be so afraid to say what's true. And then they go back and make up this history. Like I listened to Charmaine the God. Hold on a second. And he had this guy on there. What's his name? Andrew Schultz. And he want to sit there and say sit there and have the gall to say that Nick Cannon was misinformed. No, brother, you misinformed. Because what that man said, nothing he said was a lie. Nothing he said was untrue. And because he brought up the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds, whoever it was you say he brought up, so damn what? They've known to be there was Jewish bankers, and if you go back through their history, you see what their grandfather did, on the stock market, and lie about that, and took over money in banks then. So who are you to say there's no truth to it? Because you said it? Because what, you are supposedly Jewish descent? You people need to give me a break. And Charlemagne, I thought you had more balls than that. Even you starting to not have any balls anymore. To not know what Semitic meant, to be supposedly as smart as you are, it's a shame that you didn't know that. And it shows me that you don't understand your culture or your people either. It's so many people, like I keep telling you folks out there, it's so many people they would turn on you in a New York second, not a New York minute, in a New York second. They'll turn on you because their livelihood is more important than you. You starting to understand people. And the Jews, they have so much power that they can manipulate what somebody said that was true and make it false. And you trying to tell me we live in a just world, in a just society? You folks need to be lined up and slapped because you're nothing but a bunch of fools. And I told my wife I was gonna stop saying that. But this kind of stuff that burns me up, you know, with our people, you know. How dare you bend to them and bow to them? Be a man. Nick, yeah, you had to pay the consequences for that. But didn't that wake you up to the fact that these people ain't your friends? Any of them stand up for you? We all know that you wasn't trying to be harmful. We all know that. But the fact that you told the truth is what pissed them off. I'm not saying the majority of the Jewish people are like that, but like I said, I used to work for a Jewish organization. I used to work there as security. And some of them were beautiful people, and some of them were rotten to the core. Couldn't stand the sight of me. Thought it was sacrilegious for me to be standing in the place, and I'm working there. So, don't give me all this bull crap about Jews not being racist. Because that's what they're trying to say. Oh, we're not racist. We were downtrodden like you were. That was 60 some years ago. What's going on with our people hasn't stopped yet. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. And you people that's in the entertainment world, you black folks, listen, I understand, you know, that you don't want your livelihood taken away from you. Then don't say nothing ever again. Somebody bring up a subject like that, don't say nothing like that ever again. Because I can see the hurt in your face, Nick. And it does hurt. It hurts when somebody takes something that you value or that you like doing or you feel proud in doing. They take it away from you with no explanation except you did the wrong thing. Give me a fucking break. Excuse me. Give me a freaking break. My brother, you did nothing wrong. You said nothing wrong, but you're weak. And you did make the little statement that, hey, if they could take 100 jobs away from you, you're going to stand up and be who you are. Yeah, you don't mean that. Because if you did, you wouldn't have had that jerk on your show. Now, he gets on his radio show, or podcast, or whatever it was, called you a racist and everything else. And you call him your friend? He ain't nowhere near your friend, bro. He might have been one of the ones that helped have you pulled from your show. Because a lot of rabbis have a lot of power in the Jewish community. They have a lot of power. And the more power they have, the more they use it. Your producer you went to, they said she didn't want to talk to you because she's Jewish. All because you said something about the Rockefellers. Or the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. One of the two. You both was crooks. But all because you brought that up. The rest of the conversation, it was okay. No, it wasn't that, man. It was because you said the truth. It came from the Caucasus Mountains. Harsh conditions. Was savage-like. And had to be taught humanity. They even should get mad at that if they called themselves Jews. Because if they considered themselves Jews, then that wouldn't even apply to them. Would it? Would it? I don't hear nobody talking. So they was able to twist the whole narrative up and make it seem like you were being anti-Semitic because this was the history you were taught. You tried to explain it to the man, but what did he do? He talked about the guy he met that was in the concentration camps. And the amazing things he did, he never really even addressed the conversation because he wasn't interested in addressing the conversation. He was interested in trying to teach you a history lesson, a fake history lesson on top of that. Hopefully you had enough sense to see through that and don't have him on your show anymore. He talks about how he runs around the world and how he talked to this and that. And, who gives a damn, man? You were supposed to address what Nick Cannon said and explain to him that it was anti-Semitic. I saw the whole interview plus the other 27 minutes. I still didn't get that. I still didn't get it. So Nick, don't let people like this create a narrative for you that you're going to be too scared to speak the truth. Speak it, brother. Because everybody who ever spoke it always had to pay a consequence, always had to pay a price. And you're not going to be the first one or the last one. But you got to stand strong. And when you stand strong, people will stand strong with you. You're going to get the ones out there that's going, oh, well, Nick shouldn't have said that, or Nick shouldn't have did this, or he biting the hand that feeds him, and, and, whoa, he didn't got cut from this show and cut from that show. That meant they never cared about you in the first place, man. If a comment you can make that really didn't mean any harm to anybody, that most people didn't even catch, if you want to know the truth. A lot of people didn't even catch that, but certain ones did. And they just got all in an uproar from it. Oh, you just had to be fired from your job. We wouldn't tolerate this kind of stuff. Tolerate what? The truth? So all you people thinking that this man said something, all you Jewish people that think that this man said something wrong and tried to discriminate against you, go read your history books, not just the Torah. Okay? Because the Torah is just 10 books out the Bible. So don't just read the Torah. Read some history books. Read the Bible. And find out who you are and where you came from. Because he know who he is and where he came from. Okay? A lot of you Jewish people, you're from European descent. So how can you be Semitic? Come on now. And then you claim you were in one of the 12 tribes. Where's the proof? From what I read, there was no whites in the 12 tribe. Unless you want to talk about, Esau and his brother. Other than that, there was no Europeans that I know that was in the 12 tribes. Or no Caucasus. The Caucasians, from the Caucasus Mountains. So, where did he lie, people? No, y'all lied when y'all did that to that man. And it was disgusting. Charlemagne, I'm disgusted in you for more than just one reason, for a couple of reasons. And this guy, Andrew Schultz, he tried to play it off cool and this and that. And, they claimed they was taught to remember the Holocaust. We don't have to be taught to remember nothing because we keep seeing it all the time. And where was the Jews so persecuted? The Jews then stuck their history onto you, man. Onto you, black people. They stuck their history on you. They said they were persecuted all over the world. When did that happen? You mean Jews from Caucasian descent were persecuted? Maybe they were. But from what I can see, it don't seem like they was that persecuted to me, except for maybe in Germany, a little bit in Italy. But our people was persecuted all over the world. The entire world. And more than 6 million of our people done died. That's just a scratching history for our people. But they make sure they keep knocking you over the head with that to keep you in guilt about what happened to them. But they never mention about what happened to you. How many Jews you see up there on TV telling you how many blacks done died just from the Second World War? How many? Not to say there's not good Jewish people. I'm never going to say that. But I think a lot of you are hypocrites. Just like a lot of Christians and a lot of Muslims. A lot of you are hypocrites. And you change the narrative to fit your adventure, to fit your story. You don't tell the truth. None of you telling the truth. And when somebody do speak the truth, you want to ostracize them and cut them off at the knees. It's sad. So, You can keep your comments this time to yourself, especially if you're Jewish. You can keep your comments to yourself because nothing you can say can make change my mind about how that man treated Nick Cannon on the stage on that interview. You know, he was cold, he was callous. You know, he never should have invited him. You should have just licked your wounds, man, and went on about your business. Because now, you know, you even look more like a buffoon. Now they're gonna sit up and laugh at you. See what we did, that nigga? We made him pay. That's what he get. It's a sad world. It's a sad world that this little small group of people can wield that much power, and then they tell you that they're not in charge of anything, but they're running everything. And you always find out when you cross that line. How many lines have they crossed on us? Who was the rabbi that was on this YouTube station saying that they kidnap little black and brown children and grind them up and put them in food and you eat it in McDonald's, they feed it back to you? Nobody brought that one up, did they? Rabbi Finkel, whatever his name was, the monster. Did this rabbi know about that too? Do other rabbis know about that too? We ain't grinding your children up eating them. We ain't so disgusted by you that we try to keep you out the synagogues. Yeah, I've seen it. I told you I worked for him. Worked at him at the synagogue. If you couldn't prove you was Jewish, which I don't know what that means to do, you couldn't even get into the synagogue. And they want to call you anti-Semitic, and racist. Give me a freaking break. I met some of the racist Jews. I mean, some of the most racist were Jews that I met working at this place. Couldn't stand to see me eat a hamburger. It was like a violation, and it was disrespectful about it. Wouldn't let you in the synagogue, but it could let you come in there and clean it. You know, give me a break. So that's my rant for the day. You people don't get all caught up in these people, the Jewish and all they BS. You know, they just want you to bow down to them because, you know, this is their narrative that they done made, you know, to try to make the whole world feel guilty about what happened. You know, it was basically Europeans on Europeans. Yeah, they were Jewish religion. But like I said before, being Jewish is not a race. Anybody can be Jewish like anybody can be Christian. So y'all need to get off of that. They're not a race of people. It's just a religion. And a religion that really only holds to 1/3 of the Bible. Less than that, 1/8 of the Bible. They would usually stay to the writing of Moses. They don't even consider the New Testament. They don't even look at the New Testament. You know. But they better than you. And they got power over you. This is why we need to get our own stuff. We get our own stuff, you don't have to bow down to nobody. And you can say what you will and let them just bite the bullet. Well, that's it, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, give me a like and a comment, and please share. And we can get some of this nonsense off the air about people who is really anti-Semitic and who is not. Until next time, God bless, and stay tuned for the next video. Bye-bye.